Into Matchday 2 we go now over the Europa Conference League. Of course, who's going to follow on for a victory from Matchday number 1 and back it up with 3 more points? We're going to take a look at it, all of it, next. That's right, folks, back again another prediction video. Today we look forward to match number 2 in this year's Europa Conference League, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you know where you've been, smash your subscribe button, bang update all things Conference League related, Pepper Rose related, Woo Cup related later this year. That's right, of course. Eventful match day, of course, last week in the old Europa Conference League, and who's going to continue on where they left off. We'll take a look at it, all of it, in a second. Of course, big shout out to my VRPs. They are the patrons, you know who you are. And of course, if you want to head back in the channel, check out the links down below: Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course, Patreon as well. So here we go, folks. Here we bloody go. Of course, a recap of my predictions and of course the actual results that did come in through on Thursday night. So here we go then. Of course, Balkan against Cluj ended up as a 1-1 draw in the end. I went with a 1-0 win, so we got that one pretty shitty. Just a 1 point for me. Over to Nice, which has been very, very nice. Just a draw as well against Köln. I went with the 2-1 win as well. Another shit show for me. Moving forward, Slovácko against Partizan ended up as a 3-3 draw. I went with a 2-2, so I picked up a fair amount of points, but not as much as some. If you want to click into this, and if you haven't got involved with this, you can do so. It's 100% free. I'll give you a link in a second. This shows you a quick breakdown of the points right here. I got the result kind of right. It was a draw, but the scoreline was a little off. The amount of goals, home goals and away goals, I didn't get that right. Goal difference, I got 1 point in that. 0 goal difference, which was fine. Underdog bonus, which means, of course, if you get a scoreline that no one else has predicted or very little have predicted, you get a couple of extra points as well on that one. So there's a lot of points to be had. So even if you have missed match number 1, you can kick on with match number 2. Moving down we go now to this one here. Anderlecht against Silkeborg. 1-0 was the final score. 2-0 for me. Just 4 points in my eyes. Austria Wien against Hapoel. 0-0 was the final score. Again, I went with a 2-1 win for Austria Wien. And again, I did pretty shitty on that one. Meanwhile, Villarreal against Lech Poznań. 7-goal thriller. I went with a 3-1. So I did get 3 points on that, which ain't too shabby. Hearts got themselves an absolute spanking by Istanbul Başakşehir over in Scotland. 4-0 it was. I went with a draw. Nowhere near on my end. Fiorentina against RFS was a draw. 1-1 in the end. 3-0 for me. Again, pretty shitty in my end. Vaduz against Apollon coming out of Cyprus. Of course, 0-0 was the final score. 1-1 for me. 4 points in the bag. Ain't too shabby. Down here, of course, we did a Pro 1 against AZ Alkmaar. Was a 1-0 win. 2-1 for me. Same kind of goal difference. 4 points in the bag for me. Moving on nicely. Slovan Bratislava 0-0 against Zalgiris. 2-1 for me. 0-0 was the final score. Again, very, very shitty. Basel against Poznań. 3-1 was the final score. 2-0, of course, with my eyes. 4 points just 4 points in the bag on that one. Shamrock Rovers, of course, went with a 0-0 draw, was the final score there. 1-0 for me, just 1 point in the bag. Meanwhile, Molde 0-0 final score against Gent. 0 points on the offering for me. Again, not great indeed. Moving forward, Silversport against Slavia Prague was a 1-1 draw. I went with a 2-1 win for Slavia Prague. Again, not great. And then wrap it up. Of course, West Ham did beat Steaua Bucharest. 3-1 was the final score. 2-0 for me. 4 points in the bag. Pretty good as well, considering the state of affairs. Take a look at the league there now. This is the league, and to be honest with you, I'm doing absolutely wank. This is the overall leaderboard. Of course, there's only 12 of us in it so far, but you can still join. I'll show you the link in just a second. But James FC is running away with 57 points. Wow. If we want to take a look at him, it'll show his breakdown. So where he picked up the most points here. So very well done indeed. He got pretty much a lot of high scores knocking around there, so well done. And of course, you could be James next week, of course, in match number 2. And I am, believe it or not, rock bottom. I can't believe that, rock bottom on my own league. But it is early days. It's a sprint. I mean, it's a marathon, not a sprint, guys. It's a marathon, not a bloody sprint. But of course, if you want to get involved with the prediction league, it is completely free, and of course, very, very simple to do so. Just go to this link right here, cut/ECL 2022. There is a QR code that will make things a little bit easier. But yeah, we're going to jump straight back into match number 2 now, where I'm going to start making amends and get myself right back in the game. So let's, of course, get into this Badgerino and look forward to match day number 2. So where are we now then? So we're going to jump into, of course, predictions and take a long hard look at number 2, which all kicks off on the 15th of September. So no rest for the wicked. Of course, the games are coming thick and fast. Maybe, of course, over in England we've been hit with, well, the British have been hit with news of the Queen's passing, which may or may not delay games this weekend. But I'm going to prepare these videos here with the understanding that they are going to take place. So I am recording this on Friday, September the 9th. It is early doors, 6:30 a.m. In fact, before we jump into the deep end with match number 2, I want to show you the groups as it stands right here right now after one game completed. So Group A sees İstanbul Başakşehir leading the charge at RFS Fiorentina, and then up Hearts, of course, making up Group A. Into Group B, it is, of course, West Ham leading the charge at Anderlecht second, Silkeborg, and then Bucharest complete the set there. C sees Villarreal, Hapoel, Sheva, Austria, Wien, and Lech Poznań. D has Partizan Belgrade leading the charge, level on points with Slovácko and Köln and Nice in a very, very tight group. Into Group E is AZ Alkmaar with, of course, 3 points. Possible 3. Apollon, Limassol there with Vaduz, with Dnipro struggling at the moment. Into Group F, it is Djurgårdens from Sweden, Molde then, Shamrock Rovers and Gent complete the charge, all on 1 point as well. Meanwhile, Cluj picked up a point as well, as did Slavia Prague, Balkany and Silversport, all on 1 point once again. And then wrap it up. Of course, Group H, Basel lead the charge, Zalgiris, Slovan Bratislava and Punjic lead the charge on that one. So that's the state of play there. So let's, of course, take a long, hard look at match day number 2. Then, of course, kick it all off with of course, the top of the shop there, AZ Alkmaar. They're going to be taking on Vaduz this coming weekend. So let's get into the deep end and look at this game. They've never played each other according to my eyes, but AZ Alkmaar coming to us on 92% form, unbeaten in the last 9 games. They've also not lost any of the last 9 home games either, up against the Vaduz side, just 1 win in 6, then 42% form for them moving forward. Of course, heading into this weekend's action, AZ Alkmaar taking on Twente. Of course, they're expected to win that game up against the Vaduz side, who are taking on Zagmatch as well in the top flight in the domestic league on there. I've got no odds on this one. I've got no odds on a lot of these, so I'm going to come at you very, very raw, but I do anticipate a win for AZ on this. So I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for them to take the 3 points. Again, looking very, very good in the early stages of the competition. Up against next up, of course, we have upon Limassol coming out of Group E. That's right. Of course, Limassol just won defeat past 6. Of course, was it Neil Lennon's boys? 67% form for them up against the Dnipro 1 side who've won 2 out of the last 6 games. 42% form for them moving forward. Of course, Dnipro 1 taking on Metalist this weekend, with Limassol taking on Armenia Nicosia. I've got no odds on either of those games. I've got no odds on this one as well. It's a tough one, isn't it? Dnipro 1, of course, got the turmoil going on over in the Ukraine. Of course, Limassol underdogs in, of course, European football on the grand scheme of things. I do think this is going to be an even kind of Steven sort of game here. I'm going to go with a draw here, which 28% of the people who've already predicted have gone with that. You can do this play double booster, which I haven't done yet. I didn't do it in the first one, so maybe I'll throw that in at the end here. So we'll have a go at that as well before we. So remind me. Next, of course, Punjic. Punjic, of course, coming at you up against, of course, Slovan Bratislava. That's right. They lock horns over in Group H. That's right. Punjic, 42% form for them, winning 2 of the last 6. Against Slovan Bratislava side, unbeaten in the last 6 games. These two sides have played each other twice since 2017. It's actually been 2 wins out of 2 for Slovan Bratislava. The last time they played each other in Punjic, it was a 4-1 win for Slovan Bratislava back in June 2017. That was in the Europa League qualification phase. Of course, Bratislava taking on Punjic Yerevan this weekend. I don't know if they're in action anywhere else. It doesn't appear so. Meanwhile, Punjic Yerevan taking on BKMA Yerevan this weekend as well. Again, got no odds on this one, but I'm going to go and playing again off the fence here. A sort of even Steven sort of draw. I'm going to go with a draw here. Bratislava remain unbeaten, and of course, we'll look forward to continuing that run into match day number 3. Of course, next, of course, we do have Zalgiris. They're taking on, of course, Basel coming at you this Thursday as well, 15th of September. Played each other never. Zalgiris, though, unbeaten the last 6 games ago, 75% form for them. They've also haven't lost any of the last 9 home games. Meanwhile, Basel coming to us winning 4 of the last 5, 67% form for them moving forward. Of course, Zalgiris picked up a draw against Slovan Bratislava last time around, and they'll take on Kuno this coming weekend in the top flight in Albania. I'm imagining. I don't know if that's correct. Meanwhile, Basel, of course, coming to us on the back of that 3-1 win over Punjic Yerevan. They're taking on Grasshopper over in the Swiss top flight. Of course, another tight one here. I might even go with a 1-0 win. Going to go with a 1-0 win, which would, if I'm right, will go against the grain. And I might get more points. I'm going with the gamble. I'm playing gambling football here, guys, with, of course, trying to get myself back into it. It is my league. I can't be finishing bottom on this one. So next, of course, we have Gent. Meanwhile, that game was, of course, over in Group H. So Gent are taking on Shamrock Rovers, of course, over in Belgium. That's right. Now these two sides never play each other, but Gent, though, just 1 win in 6 of them. 25% form for them moving forward. Shamrock Rovers just 1 defeat past 5, 58% form. Back-to-back games over that to win. The Shamrock Rovers taking on Finn Harps this weekend. They're expected to win that game. Gent are taking on Zulta this weekend, also expected to win that game. Again, pick up a 0-0 draw against Molde last time around. Of course, Shamrock Rovers with a 0-0 draw against Djurgårdens. And again, got no odds on this one. Don't have any odds for this. Tough one, this one. Again, Shamrock Rovers are hoping to get some a little bit of their points mainly at home. So when they take on difficult encounters such as this, I don't expect them to get anything in the end. So 2-0 in the end. 34% of people who've already predicted have gone with that scoreline as well. It's quite a high score rating on that one. So it's looking promising in my eyes. So speaking of course, the remainder of Group F, we go to Djurgårdens over in Sweden and taking on Molde in a bit of a Scandinavian encounter. So let's take a long hard look at this one. Again, taking place on the 15th of September, the early kickoffs. Djurgårdens just one defeat past 6, 67% form for them, because the Molde side just one defeat at the past 6 as well, 75% form for them moving forward. Molde and Djurgården have played each other twice since 2007, and the last time they played each other in Djurgården, it was a 3-1 win. Sorry, scrap, that was a 1-0 win for Molde. That was back in September 2017. It was a friendly though, so don't really look into it too much. Djurgården pick up a draw against Shamrock Rovers, taking on, of course, Hammarby this weekend over in the Swiss top flight. Molde with a 0-0 draw against Gent. They're taking on Sheva in the Norwegian top flight, and both, well, actually, Molde are expected to win their game convincingly. Meanwhile, Djurgården are expected to lose against Hammarby on this one. So I'm going to go with, it's a tough one, isn't it? It's a tough one. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Molde on the road. 30% of people have gone with that one as well. Moving forward, we're going to go Slavia Prague taking on Balkani. That's right, also this coming week over in the Conference League. Slavia Prague, of course, coming out of the Czech Republic, 83% form for them. Unbeaten in the last seven games. Or at least 6 games, sorry, and they haven't lost in the last 7 home matches. Meanwhile, Balkani also unbeaten in the last 6 games, 92% form for them moving forward. Of course, Balkani picked up draw with Cluj last round. They're taking on KF Trita in the top flight there. Meanwhile, Slavia Prague did draw with Silverspor. They're taking on Cesk Budovski this weekend. They're expected to win that game as well, according to the bookies' odds. And again, according to my odds, I've got to back Slavia Prague here. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win, which 54% of the people have gone with that already. So kicking off, it's Cluj, then up against Silverspor. Meanwhile, that game, of course, over in Group G. So Silverspor will go to Cluj in Romania. Of course, now these two sides have played each other never. Of course, Cluj, though, 50% form for them, 1-2 lost to and draw 2 over the last 6. Silverspor, though, without a win in the last 9, though, 25% form for them. However, back-to-back games without a loss. Of course, Silverspor picked up a draw against Slavia Prague. They'll take on Istanbul Spor this weekend. They're expected to win that game. Cluj, though, pick up a draw against Balkani. They're taking on University Krakova in the top flight. They're expected to win that game, but only just as well. Tight on this one. I'm actually going to go with a 2-1 win for Cluj on this one. Just 15% of people have gone with that scoreline. Meanwhile, Köln, of course, over in Germany from the Bundesliga, taking on Slovácko this coming weekend. Of course, that's also on the late kickoffs on Thursday night as well. Never played each other though, but Köln unbeaten the last 5, 58% form, of course, winning 2 and drawing 3. Meanwhile, Slovácko, 50% form for them, 1-2 lost to and drawn 2 over the last 6. Slovácko picked up a draw against Partizan Belgrade, 3-3 last time around, with, of course, Köln picking up a 1-1 draw against Nice, which was very, very nice. They take on Union Berlin this weekend, where they're expected to just about win. Meanwhile, Slovácko taking on Madaslav Boleslav. They're expected to lose that game in this. We've got no odds on this though, of course, but I do anticipate Köln to win this one. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win in the end for Köln. Again, 34% of people voted already have gone with that one as well. Next, of course, we have Partizan Belgrade. Let's get a look deep in on this one then, shall we? Of course, Partizan Belgrade. It's one of the later kickoffs, I believe, up against Nice, of course. Again, this is over in the same group, Group D. Played each other never. These two sides, Partizan Belgrade, unbeaten in the last 8 games, 75% form for them, up against the Nice side, who've won 2, lost 3, and drawn just the 1 over the last 6. Of course, Slovácko with a 0-0 draw. Sorry, 3-3 draw against Partizan Belgrade last time around. Partizan Belgrade taking on Mladost Lukane this weekend. Of course, coming at you though, Nice with a draw against Köln last time around, taking on Ajaccio this weekend over in League 1. They're expected to win that game, of course, on this one. What is everyone thinking about this? My gut is in my... of course, Partizan Belgrade's home form is massive on this one. I'm actually going to go with a draw here, which again doesn't do much for Nice. It does very much so for Partizan Belgrade, making their home an absolute fortress in the end. So that's over in Group D. Now moving over to Silkeborg up against West Ham. Of course, West Ham kicked themselves off with a win against Steaua Bucharest over in London, but this time they go abroad on this one. Silkeborg, though, just one win in the last 6, 25% form for them up against the West Ham side, just 1 defeat past 5, and then 58% form moving forward as well. Of course, West Ham picked up that 3-1 win earlier. Silkeborg did lose to Anderlecht, of course, last round. They're taking on Ahaus this weekend in the top flight. They're expected to win that game over in Denmark. Of course, West Ham taking on the Geordies. They're expected to just about win that game as well. I do anticipate this a victory for the Hammers here. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win, which is a bit of a random scoreline, I guess, against one of the popular ones. Again, West Ham should win it. It's just how comfortable they will win it is the age-old question as well. Again, that goes over in Group B. So let's take a look at the other game in Group B, which of course is Steaua Bucharest going up against Anderlecht as well. Now these two sides never played each other. Of course, Bucharest just won, winning 5, 42% form for them. Up against Anderlecht side, just won a 58% form for them, winning 3, losing 2, and drawing 1 over the last 6 actually. Just 1 winning 4 for them. Anderlecht did beat Silkeborg last round. They're taking on Westerlo this weekend. They're expected to win that game. Meanwhile, West Ham with a 3-1 win over, of course, Bucharest, who take on Voltani this weekend over in the top flight there. What do we think about this one? Of course, Bucharest is a venue, isn't it? I'm going to go with a 1-0 win for them at home. And again, it could be a masterstroke by me to get myself back into this league, but it could be an absolute train wreck, of course. So a lot of people are back in Anderlecht on the road here. 2-1 win for them to get the 3 points and move it. I've actually gone with an away win. I have gone with 1 away win so far. So into the final 4 we go now. It's Lech Poznań up against Austria Vienna now. Let's take a look at this one then. Of course, Poland up against Austria, of course, coming at you one of the late kickoffs as well on Thursday. Now these two sides, of course, in my eyes, played each other twice since 2008, 1 apiece, and 0 draws. Of course, Lech Poznań 75% form for them, moving forward, just 1 defeat past 6 up against the Austria Vienna side, 1 defeat past 6 games as well, 58% form heading into this. Last time played each other only in Poland, it was a 4-2 win for Lech Poznań back in October 2008 in the UEFA Cup. Of course, Poznań opened up with a 4-3 loss to Villarreal. They're taking on Pogoń Szczecin this weekend. They're expected to lose that game as well. Vienna taking on Sheva last time, expected a draw. They're taking on Hartberg this weekend. They're expected to just about win on this one. I'm going with the Poles on this one. 2 to win in the end for Lech Poznań, 3 points to bag, and of course moving the chains once again. Next, of course, we have the other teams in this group. It is Hapoel up against of course, Villarreal coming at you from the La Liga. Now, these two sides never played each other, but Sheva coming to this on 50% form, 1-2 lost to and drawn 2 over the last 6. Of course, Villarreal, they're unbeaten in the last 16 games and haven't lost any of the last 12 away games. And of course, they did pick up a 4-3 win over Lech Poznań, 7-goal thriller it was. Taking on Real Betis this weekend, they're expected just about win that game. Sheva, of course, drew with Austria Vienna, of course, taking on Hapoel Tel Aviv this weekend, they're expected to win that game as well. What are we thinking about this one? It's going to be tight, but I do anticipate Villarreal to come out on top the better time. 2-1 win in the end for Villarreal, 3 points to bag, and an away win as well. And to the final 2, it's over, of course, İstanbul Başakşehir taking on Fiorentina, of course. Let's take a long look at this one, of course, coming at you over in Group A. They've never played each other. The Başakşehir, they're winning 4 of the bouts, unbeaten in the last 19 games, though. 83% form for them. Against the Fiorentina side, just 1 defeat past 6, 42% form for them at the moment. However, they haven't won the last 6 games. They are the draw specialists during 5 of the last 6, including a draw against Rīgas last time around. They're taking on Bologna this weekend in the, of course, Serie A. Expected to win that game. Başakşehir with a big 4-0 win over Hearts. Back-to-back clean sheets for them. Of course, they're taking on Besiktas this weekend, where they're expected to get thumped on that one. Tough one, this one, of course. I do anticipate an İstanbul Başakşehir victory here over Fiorentina. Of course, they've been playing shit, and of course, going to Turkey is always not for everybody in this one as well. And then wrap it up is RFS. They're going to be taking on, of course, Heart of Midlothian, of course, coming out of Scotland. If I can see it, yes, I can. Now, these two sides never play each other, but Rīgas unbeaten in the last 9 games, 75% form for them. Up against Hearts side, just 1 win in 6, 17% form for them moving forward. Hearts pick up a 4-0 loss against Başakşehir. It's actually been 1, 2, 3 games now without a goal for them. Taking on St. Mirren this weekend. They're expected to win that game. Rīgas picking up a draw against Fiorentina. It's actually been back-to-back draws by Rīgas. They're taking on, of course, Spartacus this weekend in their top flight as well. For me, I'm going to go with, I don't know. Everyone's back in the away side here. Oh, what have I done? I'm going to also back the away side here. Just the 1-0 win for Hearts. And I'm going to play my booster. My booster's going to be on... What am I thinking? Let's go this one. I'm going to go with Gent against Shamrock Rose. Play my booster. Double action on this one. So that's, of course, my take on it, guys and gals. Of course, don't forget to get your own picks in. It is 100% free, of course. So get in there, put your picks in. Of course, join us in for the long haul. But that is it, guys. That is it. Of course, be sure to give us a love, smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe. Check links down below, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course, Patreon as well. But until then, guys and girls, we are out.